Okay, guys, so when we're talking about the Train Heroic app, show you opening up the app right here. This is what it looks like on that bottom left. I'll just click that. And what you guys will probably inevitably end up seeing is something like this. How it looks empty for me. This is my profile. I created a workout, and so what you'll do is you'll just go to this calendar theme here. I'll click that next, but there's a few other little buttons down here at the bottom that you can kind of click through. Obviously, this is your home page. This is the calendar. This is a messenger. This is your notifications in terms of if I message you or you message me, rating things. And then here's obviously your own personal profile. If we go back here, so this is what is going to look like for your day that you're working out that we program here. Most of how I've laid this one out is what it's going to look like for you when you pull up your first few workouts. In regards to the coach's instructions here, this is typically where I'm going to put your warm up. Now, at first, you're not going to have any idea what I'm talking about when I'm saying, X, Y, or Z. So that's going to go in this A column here. And so all of this will be kind of bumped down. As you get more ingrained in knowing what your specific warm-up is, then I will put it up here in the coaching instructions, as well as anything else that I might feel might be pertinent to your workout that day. Again, you can always shoot me messages through the messaging app here, or if you want to comment on an exercise, you can absolutely do that as well. How I've laid these out, so these are called supersets. And so what that means basically is A1 through A3 is going to be where you start. And so what you would do is you would do your first set of the back squat, then you would progress to the push-up, then the calf raise, and then you would come back through and you would go through A1 through 3 again, and then go back up top, A1 through 3 again, before you jumped down into this B column here, okay? That's how we kind of progress through these sorts of things. If I'm going to click this box here where the A1s are and A2 and A3, you can see here specifically how each exercise is laid out here, okay? So I'm going to give you specific instructions that are going to be within each exercise. So I may have something like, hey, on the way down with the squat, I want you to focus on keeping the knees out of the way and then also pushing them out whenever you come up. So that might be something like a cue. I may have specifics as far as how I want you to do your reps too. So something like this, where it's, I want you to spend 3 seconds on the way down when you are going into the squat. And as far as weight goes right now, I just want you to work on light to moderate weight. So I don't need us loading up the bar super heavy, or if we need to modify the squat in any way, whether it's a goblet squat or some different variation, we can always put that in there too. Most of the time, if that's the case, I'm going to change what this is up here by the back squat anyway into that type of variation. I'm always kind of adding new exercise videos onto the platform, and so sometimes it gets a little bit creative in terms of verbiage that I'm going to use for them. As you kind of go through these, you can mark as you start your workout. So hey, let's say I did my 10 reps, and so that'll say my session time started. So we got the 10 reps. And then as far as poundage goes, we'll say that I did 175. And then that'll mark that I got that done, okay? And then I'll just go to the next one. Same thing, did my 20 reps. Did my, and then in regards to calf raise, I got my 10 reps done here. However, let's pause for a second. This is a series of calf raises. So you can do something like touch this video screen where you see the calf raise happening, and it'll take you to a YouTube page that will show you the variations that I'm looking for. So there's 3 different variations in this particular video here. And so that's why I put 10 on each. So at the end, you're going to end up doing 30 reps for your first set, 3 by 10, okay? I always put in things like this. If you want to use a weight vest or anything that you want to modify to make it harder or easier, you can always do that too. And then again, you've got the cues here as well, okay? If there's ever any notes that you want to make, you can always go down here to this add exercise note, and let's say, woo, baby, that was hard. And then hey, we'll get creative and put a fire emoji too. And so now I can see that as you message that to me, okay? Moving on with this, let's just say for the sake of time, I did 175 again, and then this time, hey, great job, we added 5 pounds. Okay, and then got these done accordingly, and these done accordingly. So we'll move on to the next set. And so that is that B superset that we see here, okay? And again, we can click that, and it's going to give us our specificity that we're looking for. Something like this one, where I'm going to say, okay, on this variation, maybe the video is showing you one thing, I may be telling you to do something different. So that's why I always want you to refer to the instruction of what I have right above where the reps and the sets are, okay? Something like this too, where the video is going to show him going up and down on one leg, whereas I would prefer that you, starting out, go up on 2, then kick your leg out, and just hold for 5 seconds, as opposed to doing reps, okay? And then here I indicate 7 each leg, but you'll notice that I put 14. So that's why I always want to kind of keep you on your toes with that stuff, because there's sometimes where I may be programming things and put a collective amount of reps as opposed to the individual amount of reps when we're doing single leg or single arm stuff, okay? And then this is just another indication of that. So again, I put 5 each direction for a lateral broad jump, and then you're going to go 5 one direction and then switch to the 5 in the other direction, and that totals 10 reps, okay? As you kind of go through this, so let's just rip through this part, and let's say we did 45. Boom, auto-filled, done. Let's put great exercise so I can pat myself on the back. And then we'll say that we got all these done, and got the rest of these done. And then sometimes I will add in like one last little set, or it all depends on kind of the amount of time that we've talked about. But you'll just see that there. We'll call that like a finisher to some degree. Now, obviously, the amount of time that I've taken on this is not realistic at all, but when we're done, you can always add more if you'd like. If you want to do some more, I would suggest maybe trying to log that if you can, if it's on there, as far as the program goes, just so I can kind of keep up. And especially if we're working with another coach, I want to make sure that we're keeping ourselves recovering at a good pace here too. Okay, let's just say for the sake of time that we're done training. It's going to take you to this page here. And this is where I would want you to rate the amount of intensity. This is good for me because it lets me know, hey, how hard was this workout for you? And how do I need to modify accordingly for workouts ahead? Okay, and you can always put notes down here too. Okay. Training duration, obviously, it's going to keep the time for you. If it ends up, hey, maybe you have to step away and it's still keeping time. I'm not really going to focus too much on this unless it's just astronomically high or really low. I may ask just, hey, did something get you distracted or something like that? And then once you're done, you just hit, so we'll say it was 6. And obviously with the scale, it's completely subjective, up to you. 10 being, hey, this is the hardest thing I've ever done. 0, that was a cakewalk. And then anything in between as far as like the 5 below, I would say that we're trying to stick around 6 and below, especially if you're in season for something. I don't need us trying to gas you whenever you've got your other training on top of things. And then once you're done, finish session. And there you have it. And obviously, you can always go to Instagram if you want to do that, if you want to link that and post your workout.